So it's great to see you, especially that I think that this is going to be your first solo tour in Europe, like a full solo tour, because you did a handful of shows before. And I wonder what took you so long to bring your solo show to Europe?
Well, I've always wanted to come to Europe, and I've been coming to Europe with, Manson and Motley and Rob Zombie, but I haven't come on my own. I've been just very busy with albums and bands, and then because I always said to my agent, I want to go to Europe. And then this year I was like, we're going. And he goes, well, you got a big tour coming up and, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope, book it. We're going to go. So I'm very happy. And I'm going to be back a lot. So I'm going to be around quite a bit. So you'll be surprised. You'll be like, oh, wow, here he is again. Here he is again. So it's good.
Yeah, I hope so. And your solo albums are, really great. You have like 14, 12 solo albums. I haven't counted, but
Yeah, I don't even know. A lot. Yeah, a lot.
what I mean is that when a instrumental, when a guitar player or any other player decide to do a solo album, they have decide either to go instrumental or to find a vocalist for their album. So I wonder, did you have this kind of dilemma when you started solo career, either to have a vocalist or to go completely instrumental?
Well, I've been completely instrumental for a very long time, but next year I'm going to, because I always like to change it up, but next year I'm going to have a vocalist for live shows, and we're going to do like a couple Manson songs and a couple zombie songs, a couple Motley Crue songs, a couple Van Halen songs, things like that. And I think that will be a real treat for the audience.
Is the name of the vocalist still a secret, or are you going to reveal it?
I'm still trying to decide on who it will be. So I'm
Okay.
still figuring it out. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do next year for sure.
Okay, so I think it's going to be even better. But your solo shows are still great because, I think what is interesting in your, because when you play instrumental music, I think you have more pressure on yourself because there's no other guy to distract the audience. You know what I mean? When you have a lead singer, he's
A
taking,
hundred percent.
spotlight and you're in the spotlight all the time. Is it more stressing for you?
It is. It's a lot. But even if it was just like simple what I was doing, but what I'm doing is so complicated. So it adds even more pressure on top of it. So, but I practice and I rehearse so much that I that's how I feel confident to do it. And I think that's what's most important. As long as you practice and go over stuff, you're going to be okay because that's the only way you feel confident with anything. It could be a test in school, it could be anything.
Mhm. And how did you start learning guitar? I mean, are you self-taught or did you have a teacher from the very beginning?
I had a teacher from the very beginning when I was 7, and I've always had a guitar teacher. And I think that was because I think doing it on your own, you get a little bit more, you know, um, taking the easy way out sometimes. But I always loved having a guitar teacher.
Mhm. So is it something you would recommend? Because I talked to a guitar teacher not long ago, and he said when you want to start playing guitar, get a teacher right away because otherwise you will start learning in the wrong way, if you know what I mean.
That's true. Um, but also, as long as you create your music and create your art, I don't believe that music has any rules, you know? God forbid if like somebody told Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix, you're doing it the wrong way. Could you imagine? So I think the world would be a different place. So I I don't think there's any rules to music.
And how many hours daily do you play guitar?
It's constant. If I'm, things I have to do, doing interviews or doing life stuff. But whenever I don't have to do those things, I'm playing guitar. So it's all the time. I mean, all the time, consistent playing guitar all the time. I love it.
Mhm. I heard the story about Jimi Hendrix that apparently he always played guitar, even when he went to a toilet, he was sitting and playing his guitar.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's true. Yeah, you're always, and it's not it's comforting. It's a nice, it's like having, your favorite toy or your blanket or something when you're a kid, and that's how it is when you're an adult too.
Yeah, it's a kind of, I heard that it's a kind of like that, like kind of meditation when you play your guitar.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It really helps a lot.
Yeah. And let's say like a young kid comes up to you and he or she says that they want to start learning guitar and they want to play something easy for the beginning. Like what kind of songs, what kind of riffs would you recommend them to play for the beginning?
I would say play what you love. If he or she loves Black Sabbath or Van Halen or AC/DC or something like that, learn what you love because of the fact you'll never put the guitar down. If you could play the first couple of chords to Highway to Hell, da-na-na, you'd be like, whoa, and then be super excited about it because it's opening a door. Like, and that's what I always say, learn what you love.
Mhm. Are there any young guitar players that blow your mind recently?
Oh, I love, 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 love new guitar players. I love it. I'm always on Instagram and looking at guitar players. Yes. I'm the kind of person that loves to learn. I love to learn, love to learn. So I'm always looking at guitarists and people and things like that. So and getting new ideas because there's always new ideas. I love it.
Mhm. And you started playing in class when you were very young. You were like in your early teens, right?
I'm sorry.
I mean, you started playing guitar in clubs when you were very young, like in your
Yeah,
early
very,
teens.
very young. Very, very young. Very young. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I was like in, I don't know, like maybe 13 or something, really, really young. And I loved it. I was obsessed with it. I just really enjoyed it a lot. I just really, really enjoyed it a lot. I love playing live and I love being in the studio. I think it's just I love just having a guitar around and but any day where I'm playing guitar, it's a good day, and I 100% of the time have good days.
Did you already know at that time you were going to be a professional musician?
No, I just wanted to be a session musician. I didn't know about any. I didn't think like I could ever be like a rock star or anything like that. I had no idea. That was like going to the moon, or that was like being the president or something like that. I just never wished that. Um, I never thought that was possible because it was so far out of reach for me. I couldn't imagine it. But so I just wanted to be a session musician, and that's why I studied so many different styles of music because I wanted to be a session player.
Okay. So like your first musical inspirations, I guess Kiss was one of them, but apart from that, what else?
I loved There was a TV show here called Hee Haw, so I loved Roy Clark and Chet Atkins and a lot of country artists in the beginning, and then Jimi Hendrix and things like that. But I loved like the country guys. It was just because it wasn't even a different style of music. I mean, I was so young, I didn't even understand there were different styles of music. It was just great guitar playing. And I think that was very exciting to me when anybody could do something like really crazy exciting on guitar. I listened to it. It didn't matter what style of music it was.
By the way, are you in your Kiss museum right now? Because I see a lot of Kiss memorabilia.
Yeah. There's it's the most quiet place in the house because we have all these crazy cats and dogs and housekeepers and people running around through the house. So it's the most quiet room. No one wants to come in here.
But I heard that you're doing tours on your Kiss museum.
Yeah, I put on tours, but it wasn't here at the house. We had it at a different location, and people loved it. You know, that all the shows sold out, and people were very emotional, and they loved it, and I loved it too because I was showing them everything, and there's a story behind each piece, everything. There's stories around all these things. So, yeah, we had a really good time.
Amazing. And going back to your career, before you started your career, I heard you worked for Metallica on their Injustice for All tour, right?
I I would hang out with those guys, me and Chuck, the drummer from Megadeth, for the album So Far So Good. Um, and we would hang out with Metallica. And so they would give me odd jobs. And it was so funny. Yeah. I mean, I was never paid or anything, but they would give me like these odd jobs. And they gave me the nickname Little Ozzy. And yeah, it was such a weird, amazing time of my life because we would jam on guitar. We would just hang out with the guys all the time. It was really fun. It was so weird, you know, to think about it today. They
But
would actually sometimes when they were tired of the tour bus, they would actually some of the guys like I remember it was like Steven Adler and Lars and who else? Steven Adler, Lars, I think Kirk, they all got in my car and then we would drive to the next city. I mean, it was totally fun. It was so fun back then.
like, was it your first exposure to the, big rock star life?
Um, I guess so. Yeah, it was like what it was like on the road and things like that. But yeah, it was, you know, I was playing lots of shows by then, so I was getting very educated what it was like on the road.
Mm. And I think you are very lucky because you got to work with a lot of artists that you love, like Rob Halford, I guess Rudy Sarso from Whitesnake, and of course Marilyn Manson. So was it mind blowing for you because you're meeting all your favorite stars and now you're working with them?
Yeah, it was very strange. And it's funny now that I'm thinking about it, I think I went after all of these gigs myself. Like I really loved Marilyn Manson, so I made a call. Or I loved David Lee Roth and Van Halen, so I made a call. And with Rob Zombie, I made a call. Isn't that funny? Like I was always seeking them out.
Hmm.
Interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
so if you want something, you got to go after it yourself.
Mm. But I heard that Marilyn Manson, their management contacted you and you haven't like met them before. You worked for them, right?
Well, in the very, very, very beginning, when they were looking for a guitar player for Antichrist, like really early, I called the studio where they were in New Orleans, and I said who I was and if they're looking for a guitar player. And they said, "Oh, we found somebody." And that's how it really first started. Then I was with Rob Halford, and we were on Nothing Records with Trent Reznor. And Manson was losing the guitar player he was working with. And then Trent said, "Oh, you should check out this guy. He'd be perfect for you." So it was, that's how it all came together.
And you toured with them for a couple of years. You recorded Hollywood and Golden Age of Grotesque albums, which are great. And I remember that was a pretty crazy time for Marilyn Manson because a lot of these tours were like very controversial in some areas. Like you played in Poland for the first time with Manson in 2001, and this show I remember almost got canceled because religious protests. So I wonder, like, do you remember what was happening around these shows on those time?
I remember that so vividly. I remember that completely. I remember that, and I just was like, wow. It was yeah, I remember that so vividly. Because I was so excited to come there and to play there. So it was very, very exciting for all of us. All of us. We were all excited. So it was wonderful. I think I played there with Halford too. So yeah, we were really excited. And yeah, there was a lot of great shows. We did a great live album. We did a lot of cool, wrote a lot of great music and played a lot of great shows while I was in the band.
And do you remember, says you remember vividly, do you remember the show in Warsaw in 2001?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. I remember it was a really great show too. It was really fun.
Mhm. And after you split with Manson in 2004, like, have you talked to him after that?
Oh yeah, I talk to him all the time. Yeah, we're friends and we're close, and we go to each other's birthdays and we talk. Yeah, we're friends.
Mhm. And now, of course, another, I think, dream come true. You joined Motley Crue a couple of years ago. And again,
Absolutely.
this time it was a bit different because you knew the guys before, long before you started working with them, right?
Yes, I've known them for years and years and years and years. Very close with them. I would talk to Nikki every day, multiple times a day. Like I don't think there was a day that I didn't talk to him for years and years and years. So we were really close. And Mick was retiring, and they said, "Would you want to join?" And I said, "Absolutely," because I wanted to experience. I want to experience as much as I can in life. I just want to experience as much as I can. And I think that is important in life, because you don't want to miss certain opportunities.
And I wonder what was your reaction when they offered you to play with them? Because Mick Mars is so iconic for Motley Crue. So this
Yes.
is a big boots to fill, right?
It absolutely is because, um, I mean, every single band you can think of has a different member, like not all original members. Every band, every single band. I can't think of any from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, or early 2000s that have the same band members. But Mick has been in the band for 40 years. So it was and he gave a lot to the world. He did, gave 40 years of his life. And me and Mick were, uh, we would talk all the time too. We were really good friends, and we still are. But I So it was good. They asked me to join and he was happy it was me, and it was all good. It was so exciting though, because we all love Motley Crue, and it was very, very exciting to be up on that stage with those guys. Even though, like, I talk to them all the time, it was different being up on stage with them.
Mm, yeah, I guess so. And also in the studio, you recorded a EP Cancelled, and you recorded also with some Home Sweet Home with Dolly Parton, which is a great rendition of the song. How is working with Dolly Parton?
Oh man, me and Nikki, we've written lots of songs, written and recorded lots of songs together. Um, so it was really fun. I mean, but to do it with Motley, it was exciting. It was all exciting. And those important things you store in your head, and you can really remember, and really those are things that you'll never forget. It was very special doing Dogs of War and Canceled, and I did The Dirt with them, that song. And then, so we did a lot of Motley songs together. So it's been, this life has been a real dream come true. I'll tell you, it's been a real dream come true. It's very odd to even sit here and talk about it, you know, um, to talk about all these things that have happened, because it's such a dream.
Do you think that Motley Crue will record a new album with new songs?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what the future holds, but whatever they do, I'll be there.
Mhm. And on top of the artists that you played with and recorded with, there are many more artists that you work with, like you are writing songs with Leonard Skinner and played as a session musician for other people. Like, is there any musician, any band that you work with in any kind of way that you cherish the most?
I mean, Motley Crue is pretty insane because it's all from the love you have when you're a kid, um, listening to these bands. Everybody I played with, like Manson, Zombie, of course, David Lee Roth, Leonard Skinner, Dolly Parton, uh, the guys from Kiss. I just haven't recorded with Gene yet. Um, all these, even Ricky Martin, or uh, any of these artists, Rod Stewart, it's just, it's a dream. It really is so strange. I feel like I'm going to wake up and go, God, I had this weird dream. I played with all these artists and like played in all these concerts, and yeah, yeah, what a weird dream. Anyways, it was, and someone saying, God, that's a crazy dream. But that's what I feel like that's going to happen. Like I'm just going to wake up and it's all been this weird dream.
You probably keep pinching yourself every day.
I do. I never take it for granted. I'm very, very lucky. I'm very fortunate. And I love what I do because I love to play guitar. I just love to play guitar. So it's just wonderful.
And is it true that Prince wanted to work with you?
Prince invited me down to the studio right when I joined Marilyn Manson. And I couldn't do it because I was right in the middle of working with Manson and recording Hollywood. But I'll tell you a story. His guitar tech, Takumi, he's been with forever, forever and ever. Takumi's been his guy forever. Um, Takumi got a hold of me just recently, and he said, "Yeah, Prince really enjoyed your guitar playing, and you're a Telecaster player, and he loved the Telecaster, and I just thought it was so strange because I love Prince. We all love Prince. But it's just so hard to fathom something like that, that someone that's why I'm just like so happy about what has happened, and if I didn't have any more concerts or recordings or anything to do the rest of my life, I'd be happy because of what I've done. I'm so appreciative.
Absolutely, I think our time is running up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the interview. Sorry for keep you away from your, other stuff, but
No, that's fine. That's fine. No problem.
and see you in Poland. Solo,
Yes,
maybe you will come back with Motley Crue too.
absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you very
Take
much.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.